Don't let any space go to waste. Grab 2 tension rods from Walmart or online and take that awkward space, like this one, between dresser and wall and make it something useful. I created the shelf by extending the rod in between the wall and the dresser, one toward the back and one toward the front. I'm going to take some cardboard. Once you've done your measurements with your ruler and pencil, use the ruler as a straight edge for your box cutter and go ahead and cut the cardboard to a nice, even rectangle with that front flap. This is really great, and it's a good way to use up cardboard, and it's pretty forgiving. So if you mess up, you can always grab another piece. I grabbed some peel and stick. This is peel and stick laminate paper, and I am going to measure it with my cardboard piece and cut out a piece that overhangs by about at least an inch on each side, because I'm going to essentially kind of wrap it around the edges to create a nice smooth edge on it. I make a little cut right where that cardboard is going to fold because I want to make sure it's got plenty of flexibility. Be sure to smooth this paper out as you apply it. The next thing that you're going to want to do is bring them back into your room and place them on the tension rods that you've made there. So I hope you guys find that helpful, a great way to add space using very simple tools that you have around the house and supplies. For my first hack, my daughter has a closet that is open, and the top shelf is really a bit of an eyesore with games and an easy bake oven that hasn't been used in years. And as she gets older, I like to kind of hide that stuff, even though I'm not quite ready to get rid of it. So I grabbed a tension rod, a sheer curtain, and some beautiful fairy lights. So the first thing I did was make sure that my tension rods fit. Then I grabbed the sheer curtain and went ahead and put it onto my tension rod and fitted it back to the opening to make sure that it would actually fit. And then released the lights down, and then I added the light back. Now you could certainly leave the curtain hanging with the lights behind it. It's really beautiful, but I wanted her to still be able to access her bookshelf, but also to hide the things above it. So I added a second tension rod toward the back of the closet that helped gather the curtain and the lights, and then scooted the bookshelf forward and put them behind. So she has a nice draped curtain in her closet with lights. It creates just quite the thing. The second hack was just a simple piece of fabric for my son's closet to cover up the storage at the top of his. He doesn't want curtains and fairy lights, but this great Harry Potter fabric. And all I had to do was sew up the edges. You could also just use hem tape. And I made a rod pocket and then used a tension rod that would fit across his closet because it was wider, and went ahead and just hung it up. It covers that top shelf and it was perfect, and he loves it. He also has a light in his closet and it casts on the front of this now, and he just loves it.
I didn't want to pay for new wood shelves, so I decided to create something of my own. I purchased some sheets of plywood from the hardware store. They cost under $8 a piece. I cut my plywood to the size of the shelving as it existed in the pantry. Once I had the plywood pieces cut, I cut the 1x3s to the correct length. After that, I just added the plywood on top of the 1x3, and I used a nail gun to secure it in place. I set my wire shelving back in place and then added the new wood covering right on top of that. Once I had them all in, they looked great, but I definitely wanted to stain them to make them a little bit of a darker, richer color. I would recommend taking the shelving out and staining it somewhere outside, but I ended up just staining mine right in place.
I used 2 tension rods for this brilliant storage solution. I placed them between my washing machine and wall, which is an awkward, unused space. I made sure they were both level, and then I got a piece of wood to fit on top. I trimmed another scrap piece of wood for the front, and I used a brad nailer to secure them together. I grabbed shelf liner from the dollar store and stuck it to the wood to make it look like one large thick board. I trimmed the edges and placed it on top of the tension rods, and now I have a solution for more storage in my laundry room that actually looks good. I hope this inspires you to make use of those awkward spaces and make these easy tension rod shelves.
Take 2 wire cabinet shelves and 2 plastic bins. Bend the legs of the shelves towards the center. Place wire shelves in the rectangular bins. Place storage container lids in the grooves to make them accessible. Now you have the perfect plastic storage container organization. Take 2 wire shower caddies and weave them together, top pieces towards each other. They should meet at the edges of the bottom. Use zip ties to attach them to each other and on the sides to keep them connected. Cut the zip tie tails. Remove all pans from cooking storage and place shower caddies. Now you have the perfect storage for cooking pans, baking sheets, and cutting boards. Take wire shelves and use them for more efficient storage for your dinner plates and bowls. Take tiered shelves and make all your tumblers and mugs easier to find. There you have it, a cheap way to create your own smart storage for your kitchen for less than $20.
For my next project, I'm going to head down to the hardware store and I'm going to grab some tension rods. These come in various colors and sizes. The great thing is you can twist them to make them bigger, longer, or smaller. Boy, I get these cabinets just full, especially a bunch of blankets that I'm using for guests when they want to come over. And knowing my teenage son, he's just going to shove that in there and they're going to fall out anytime I use the cabinet. Using a tension rod between the top and the bottom, I can put those in there and they won't fall out. It keeps it and holds it in place. If you've got a small laundry room, we'll put a tension rod right up inside the doorway and it's perfect for hanging your shirts. Keeps them from getting wrinkled and you can put as many up there as long as the tension rod can hold them up. Next, I'm going to go to the pantry. I know my paper towels and a lot of things take up a lot of room. Taking a tension rod between the cabinets, between the top and the bottom, I can go ahead and stick all my paper towels in there. It's really easy to do and it makes enough room for plenty of other items. I can stack those in there and as I use them, just refill it. Makes a lot of room for the next items I need to put in there. My next tension rod hack is going to be back at the shower. I can put one of these up over the top of the shower between the two walls, or you can use the walls of the shower itself. I can hang wet clothes or any type of towels to dry. For these, I'm going to use a bathing suit. Once these hang up, they're going to drip and dry on the shower floor, which is much better than anywhere else, especially against a tile or carpet floor. If it's Christmas or just birthdays, it's easy to get lost in all the wrapping paper and how to handle it. By taking these rods and putting them through the wrapping paper, you can put the tension on anything between cabinets. I'm going to use this on my desk. Once I get the tension rod all situated, I'm going to pull the wrapping paper and I can wrap as many gifts as I want, and it makes it so easy to clean up and handle the wrapping paper. The next hack is to go over to the cabinets and get them situated. Remember that wrapping station? Well, we can do the same with tape and scissors. Take a tension rod. This one is black and it matches the cabinet itself. I can go ahead and tension that between the cabinets, hang up a hook, and I can put my scissors on it and also hold up my tape. The next one is I've got a little toddler that sometimes runs around the house when we babysit. If I put a little tension rod over the books, it keeps him from going over and trying to knock those books out and keeps it right in place. The next thing is underneath the kitchen sink. There's so many spray bottles. It seems like we have cleaners for anything and everything. Putting up a tension rod will hold up the spray bottles. You can put those in up and down all around on that tension rod. Don't want to put too much weight, but look at that. It clears up that floor, makes it nice and ready to go for anything else you want to put in there. I hope all these tension rod hacks have given you inspiration to reach out and try your own hacks yourself. Thanks for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.